Welcome back to another episode of Raw Talk, where we give 0 F's over here. I know y'all need to do me a solid, smash that like on your way in. It's completely free. Today we are going to be talking about no other than the infamous reject, Waiticus. Now, for those who don't know who I am, my name's Pino. Over 10 years incarcerated in Florida Department of Corrections. Now, I pretty much speak on anything crime-related, true crime-related, or anything related to prison in general. So if that's the type of stuff you're into, smash that like and tune in. Now, if you never heard of Wade Wilson, the piece of human garbage, good. More power to you. Believe me, I wish I never heard of him either. First and foremost, I want to say my condolences to the victims' families. Just know we keep applying pressure on Wade for y'all. We keep the foot on Wade's neck for y'all. We expose Wade for y'all. So apparently Waiticus's father, Papa Steve, has heard my video and he had a response. Let's get into it. His response being, hope all is well with you. Swanee CI is a CM yard and Wade had been transferred there pending his CM review, which will happen in a week or two. Because of his disciplinary record since getting to Union, he was sent to Swanee Correctional Institution, CM, because they have a section to house death row inmates that are not sent to CM. Well, Papa Steve, I don't want to call you a liar. I do want to say that you're being misfed information, whether it's from Wade himself or you're hearing it through the grapevine. There is 100% chance that Wade is in a psychiatric unit at Swanee Correctional Institution. Now, I went above and beyond and went out of my way and sat down and went through the 269 inmates in the state of Florida who are sentenced to die. Out of those 269 inmates who are sentenced to die, 3 inmates are housed at FSP on close management. Wade Wilson is the only person housed at Swanee Correctional Institution. Now, we do have somebody that was sentenced to die. However, his release date is now pending. This guy. So therefore, Wade is the only person in the state of Florida at Swanee with a death sentence. The only person. Out of 269 people sentenced to die, there are 3 people at FSP who are on close management, which is right next door to Union. There is 1 person at Lake CI, this guy. So I went above and beyond. Not only did I go through 269 death row inmates to see where they were housed at, to which 98% of them were, 99 were housed at Union, but I also called Swanee Correctional Institution. And Swanee Correctional Institution does not normally house death row inmates. However, they have a psychiatric unit that does house all of the above. They have a psychiatric unit that has 24/7 surveillance. Now, let me get back into your message, Papa Steve. You said they have a section to house death row inmates that are sent to CM. Wade is not the only death row inmate there. Well, again, I've proved that wrong. Wade is the only death row inmate at Swanee Correctional Institution. The only one. Once the CM board decides if he will be placed on CM 1, 2, or 3, and when the website will be then the website will be updated. Dude, it takes 24 hours to update a website. You don't think I've been moved from prison to prison and had my family look me up and see? It takes 24 hours to update. Once the CM board decides CM 1, 2, or 3, it'll be updated. All death row inmates cell are under CCTV 24/7. See, this is where I know you're being misled information. Now, I don't know if you're still talking to Wade and maybe Wade is feeding you this and it's not your fault. Again, it's not your fault. I'm not here to call you a liar. I'm just saying you're being misfed information. Wade is 100% inside a psychiatric unit, a TCU unit, which we will be talking to a correction officer who worked at Swanee for 8 years. We'll be interviewing her, so stay tuned for that. So now tell me how it makes sense where you're saying that he got moved from Union to Swanee to pen CM review to get sent back to Swanee once he's done pending his CM review, which makes absolute zero sense. They house CM death row inmates at Florida State Prison right next door to Union, right? So essentially, why would you move him an hour or so north to a prison that doesn't house death row inmates to pen the CM review? Makes no sense. I've never even seen a person leave the prison they were at pending a CM review. I see them sit in confinement. Tallahassee in classification handles your CM review. Then you get word down, hey, you're being placed on CM. And if you're at a prison that doesn't house CM, you will be cuffed up in the middle of the night, put on a bus, and put to a prison that houses CM, right? So it makes no sense. The only logical reason is Wade Wilson committed a psychiatric move to get himself moved. Now let me explain. These TCU units, they're like a little vacation for Wade. He gets to talk to nurses. He gets to talk to doctors. He gets people to listen to him. And we all know Wade is a 100% attention whore. This is what he wants. He wants people to pay attention to him. He's been neglected. He doesn't feel like he's being heard. Like his case and his appeal is not being heard to the world. So he is doing whatever he can to get out of that 6x9 cell and placed into another 6x9 cell, which is at Swanee Correctional Institution. And you're right, Papa Steve, it's under 24-hour surveillance footage because it's a psychiatric cell. They're watching him. They're making sure he doesn't unalive himself in the middle of the night. Now, true enough, Wade might be too narcissistic to do that. He might be too narcissistic to take himself out. But what we do know is Wade wants attention. So he has to be watched. He has to be watched. Again, the number one way to get sent out of your prison to one of these psychiatric TCU units, the number one way is to swallow something. Swallow 4 batteries. Swallow a dull razor that you've had in your mouth for a while. Do something erratic. Now to Wade, this is a vacation again. And you're right, Papa Steve, he will be sent back to Union, but it won't be because he's pending a CM review. You don't get moved to pen the CM review. It'll be because he transitioned through the TCU unit from tier 1 to tier 2 to tier 3. And they said he is deemed safe enough to go back to his death row population. Then a bus will come, swoop him up, and sit him right down back in his death row cell at Union with the other 269 inmates. And again, out of 269 inmates, 269 that are sentenced to die, 3 are at FSP, and Wade Wilson is the only person sentenced to die at Swanee. And then you have a guy at Lake CI who was sentenced to die. And again, you're right, Papa Steve, he'll go back to Union. He'll go back and he'll be uncomfortable and miserable again. This is only a pit stop for him. It's a pit stop, short vacation. Somebody that's sentenced to die has all the time in the world to manipulate the system, do what they want, try to get here to a better place, maybe, a little bit more food, leverage to use the phone, which I'm pretty sure that's how he contacted you and gave this information to you. But hey, that was another episode of Raw Talk. I need y'all to go ahead and smash that like on your way out. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And real quickly before we get out of here, make sure y'all click that link and subscribe to my members only. Listen, you get unreleased content. You get chances to talk to Pino. Your comments are highlighted. There's so many perks and benefits to the members only. You get the videos before everybody. You get live streams that we take down and we deem, you know what? We don't want to take it fully down. We want to give it to our members. We want them something to have, and there's just so many perks and benefits to it, man. So don't forget, sign up with the members only, man. $4.99. Love.